So whenever I start teaching cybersecurity, I always start with the CIA triad. It's the basis. It's the thing that we put everything on in some type of way, form, and fashion and shape. We always refer back to it. We always want to put everything around it, and that's pretty much having a pyramid shape around our data, figuratively, right? So in this slide here, you'll see that I have a triangle off to the right, left, I'm sorry, and it has confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Now, these three pillars make up how we want to protect our data in some type of form and fashion, right? So either we want to have a heavy emphasis on confidentiality, or we want to make sure that is heavy in integrity, where we make sure that things are not changed without our consent. And then we also have availability. Availability meaning, of course, that whenever a user wants to have their data available, that it is available at that particular time. Confidentiality is more based off of making sure only those who are authorized to see the information can see that information. Now, it varies from business to business. Uh, Netflix, for example, may have a different standard of confidentiality and integrity versus a Bank of America type of setting. Bank of America makes sure is that they may want all three pillars to be strong when it comes to people's accounts. Whereas going back to Netflix, Netflix may want the availability and the integrity to be strong and not necessarily the confidentiality of it. Where they do want that aspect there, right? So they want their accounts to be um, secured, and they want to make sure that people can log into their accounts, and it makes sure that person is charged that particular fee. But it may not be as strict as someone from a banking industry to make sure that um, James doesn't see the wrong account when he or she logs in. And then, more importantly, if they make a withdrawal or a deposit, that they see the right, correct number each and every time that they go into that account. Whereas availability for that same bank, you want to make, as a client, as a person who has money in a particular bank, you want to make sure that that bank has your money whenever you need that money, right? So that's the reason why we have a peace of mind where we won't go to the actual brick and mortar place anymore, that we will do a lot of banking online because that high availability is there, but the integrity is there too, which that integrity is there, that we know that whenever we make a check deposit, that is there and we made that deposit and that no one is seeing it, right? So then it bleeds into that confidentiality part. So not to really kind of get derailed off of that one setting, but it shows how important confidentiality, integrity, and availability can be just as important as anything else in that company. Because when building a cybersecurity program, when you understand how your business is ran, then we can make sure we adjust the CIA triad to fit that business model. Okay, so I think that's very important to understand that if you understand how the business works and how we actually make money in the business, right? Then we can tailor our cybersecurity program to either be strong in all three areas or make sure that we're strong in one area that matters the most, and that we can move forward with developing a strong cybersecurity um, posture for that business. So, all in all, to recap, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Confidentiality, we're talking about encryption. We're talking about hiding that information away from people who are not supposed to see it. Integrity, we want to make sure that if any changes are made, that we can stand behind who made those changes, and we make sure that that person is the correct person to make those changes. And then availability, is the data available when I need it? Um, and that could be at any given time, or it could be at a particular time. Okay, so CIA triad, very important uh, thing to understand, to understand as a basis of cybersecurity. Everything that I talk about from here on out will be based on this concept.